Welcome to Value Vest Daily, where we analyze various hot topics related to health, food, and lifestyle. You ever wonder if those old remedies, the ones our grandparents and our grandparents swore by, could actually stand up to modern science? Well, today we're looking at one of them, a thick, kind of sticky oil that's been around for literally thousands of years. They call it liquid gold, and in this explainer, we're going to find out why.
So that's the big question, right? We're talking about castor oil. Is this stuff just an old wives' tale, or is there some real hard science that makes it a powerful tool for fighting pain and inflammation right here, right now? Let's find out.
Okay, let's just start with that name, Palma Christi. It literally means the hand of Christ. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about the kind of reverence people had for this plant. They named it that because of its big, hand-shaped leaves and its, well, seemingly miraculous healing powers. So today, we're going to go on a journey from that ancient belief straight into the modern lab to see what the science says. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty science, you have to appreciate the history here. This isn't some new fad that popped up on social media. Castor oil's story is woven into the fabric of human history. Seriously, this stuff has a resume that's 6,000 years long. And just look at this timeline. It's incredible. We're starting way back in 4000 BCE in ancient Egypt. They literally found castor seeds inside ancient tombs. That's how valuable it was. Then you jump forward to 2000 BCE in India, where Ayurvedic medicine was already calling it the king of medicines, specifically for arthritis. And get this, by 1550 BCE, the Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest medical books in the world, was talking about it. And it's not just ancient history. Even Hippocrates, the father of Western medicine, was prescribing it back in 400 BCE. So this isn't just one culture's folk remedy. It was a global phenomenon.
So what is the deal? How can one simple oil be so effective for so many different things? Well, like with most things, the answer is in the chemistry. We've got to zoom way in, down to the molecular level, to find the secret ingredient that makes castor oil so special.
And here it is. Meet the star of the show, ricinoleic acid. This is the compound that separates castor oil from basically every other seed or nut oil on the planet. It's a very specific kind of fatty acid, a hydroxy fatty acid, and that little difference in its molecular structure, its shape, is the key. It's what allows it to do all the amazing things it does in the body.
And this chart, wow, this really puts it into perspective. Just look at that. A whopping 90% of castor oil is made of this one single powerful fatty acid. 90%. You just don't see that kind of concentration anywhere else in nature. The other 10% is just a mix of other common fats. So for all intents and purposes, when you're talking about castor oil, you're really talking about ricinoleic acid.
All right, so we've got the history, we've got the key molecule, but the big question remains, does it actually work when you put it to the test? How does this unique chemistry translate into real relief from pain and inflammation? Let's look at the evidence. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Researchers did a gold standard clinical trial on people with painful knee osteoarthritis. They split them into two groups. One group took castor oil capsules, and the other took a very common prescription anti-inflammatory drug called diclofenac. And after 4 weeks, the results were, well, they were identical. The castor oil was just as good at reducing pain, but, and this is the kicker, the people taking the drug reported side effects, while the castor oil group reported none. Same benefit without the downside. That's a huge deal. I love this quote because it's the perfect analogy. Think about it. Pain and inflammation are basically your body's alarm system screaming that something is wrong. What ricinoleic acid does is it goes right to the source. It doesn't just snip the wires to the alarm bell, it actually calms down the signals that are triggering the alarm in the first place. It's turning down the volume on the whole system. And it's not just doing one thing, it's launching this incredible multi-pronged attack on that fire of inflammation. It works on our cells to calm the inflammatory process itself. At the same time, it works directly on our nerves, telling them to chill out and stop sending so many pain signals to the brain. And on top of all that, it helps boost circulation to the area, which is crucial for flushing out waste and bringing in fresh blood and nutrients to heal. It really is a jack of all trades for tackling pain. Okay, so the history is amazing. The science is solid. But how do people actually use this stuff? Let's connect the dots from the lab to your living room and see how all this knowledge gets put into practice. The most classic method is the castor oil pack, and it's pretty simple.
You take a piece of cloth, flannel is great, and you soak it in a good quality cold-pressed oil. You put that soaked cloth right on the sore spot, say a painful joint or your abdomen. Then you cover it up, and, this is the secret sauce, you apply some gentle heat, like with a hot water bottle. That heat is the activator. It helps the oil penetrate deeper into your tissues, getting all those amazing anti-inflammatory benefits right where you need them most.
And of course, we've got to say this, and it's really important. While all this is super interesting, remember, this explainer is for your information only. It is absolutely not medical advice. You should always talk to your doctor or another qualified healthcare provider before you start any new treatments or if you have any health concerns.
So, after traveling through 6,000 years of history, diving into its unique chemistry, and looking at the clinical proof, what's the big takeaway here? What's the final verdict? I think this is really the heart of it. This is a perfect case study of something people just knew worked for thousands of years. And now, science is finally catching up and showing us exactly why it works. It proves that a lot of that ancient wisdom has a real, measurable, biological basis. So we end right back where we started. Is liquid gold just folklore? Well, based on the history, the chemistry, and the clinical data we've looked at today, the evidence strongly suggests it's a very credible, powerful natural tool. What do you think? Please subscribe, like, and share ValueVest Daily to be aware of life-changing topics covering your health and happiness. And hey, one more thing. Please put in a comment if you want us to deep dive into any specific topic. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.